been allowed to speak on the floor of the House in Parliament. You had the response coming in from Union Minister Anurag Thakur, who has hit back at Rahul Gandhi, saying that to hide his own failures, Rahul is defaming the country abroad. NCP Supremo Mr. Sharad Pawar has backed Rahul Gandhi's remarks abroad. He has said that Rahul has merely spoken the facts. The reactions on the story.
Same happens in Parliament House. When there are important things that we need to speak about, demonetization, GST, the fact that the Chinese are sitting inside our territory, when we try to raise these questions, we're not allowed to raise them in the House. It's a fact. It's shameful, but it's true.
राहुल गांधी विवादों की आंधी बन चुके हैं। विदेशी दोस्त हों, विदेशी एजेंसियां हों, विदेशी चैनल हों या फिर विदेशी जमी हो, किसी का भी दुरुपयोग करके भारत को बदनाम करने का कोई मौका नहीं छोड़ रहे। मुझे लगता है अपनी नाकामियों को छिपाने के लिए एक सुनियोजित तरीके से विदेशी सरजमीन से राहुल गांधी जी ने भारत को बदनाम करने का ठेका ले रखा है।
Well, defaming India or merely stating the truth. That's how the political lines are divided. Joining us on the broadcast is Neeti Jain of the BJP. Dr. Anshul Avijit of the Congress Party is also joining us on the broadcast. Good evening to both of you. Neeti, coming to you first. The Congress Party says we are merely speaking the truth. We are in the opposition and we are the voice of the opposition, and these are factual things, quote unquote, that we are saying at an international platform. Interestingly, there's support also coming in from the opposition quarters, from the likes of Mr. Sharad Pawar, who clearly isn't a political novice. He's a statesman. He has run the state multiple times, a recognized national leader. Then is this BJP being too touchy about any kind of criticism?
You know, it is not the point of BJP being touchy. My point is, even if you think you are speaking the truth, even if you think you are raising valid questions, how does it make sense to go on international platforms and seek democracy in UK or US? You are asking for UK and US to impose sanctions on India because you think that democracy is somehow under attack in India. How is this beneficial to India, or how is this in any way benefiting the entire democratic process in India? You're looking at validation from the West for something that is happening here. So the only point here is that the country has stopped listening to Rahul Gandhi or the opposition. They find no support in this country because the national embarrassment that Rahul Gandhi is, they have stopped making sense here, and that has resulted in the kind of votes or vote share that they get in every state that they go to. And if he says that there is no democracy, how did they win Himachal? Was that a non-democratic process?
Sure.
Today they are saying the judiciary is also sold out. They're saying the media is also sold out. भैया आप जीतोगे नहीं तो मीडिया कैसे दिखाएगी ना कि आप जीत गए? आप जीत कर आओगे, so they will say that yes, you have won. So you cannot put everything in Katgara and say that this is not working out for us. You have to work it out for yourself.
Dr. Anshul Avijit, see, there are some pertinent points that Neeti is making. It's one thing to criticize the government, and yes, the government of the day must be criticized. That's the essence of democracy. मगर कभी-कभी सोच समझकर बोलना चाहिए आप कहाँ बोल रहे हैं, क्या बोल रहे हैं. As Neeti was pointing out, can you seek sanctions against India? Can you seek any kind of intervention from the foreign nations in Indian democracy? And what is the sweeping, allegations of rampant institutional failures, saying that Supreme Court is under threat, or the Election Commission is under threat, or there is, the rule of law is over in India? Isn't that a political hyperbole, merely to build a political consensus, some kind of international support in the favor of the Congress Party?
Well, if that is the case, then the Prime Minister shouldn't have gone abroad on foreign soil time and again and criticized the opposition, criticized the Congress Party, kept saying that these were the dark ages, pehle ganda waqt tha, ab hum safai kar rahe hain. He's repeatedly done that on foreign soil. Now, if criticizing the opposition is not anti-national, then surely on foreign soil, if you criticize the government, and mind you, that was the Prime Minister doing it, right? He's already in power. He's been in power for 8 years. He goes abroad and targets all his words on the opposition. We can surely do it, right? By that same logic. and it shouldn't be considered anti-national. The second point, and I think that there's a far more pertinent point, is Indian democracy doesn't belong to India alone. Right? It belongs to the world because everyone is invested in Indian democracy. You know, if every sixth or fifth Indian person around the world is an Indian, surely people are invested. They marvel at Indian democracy. They admire it because at the time when other countries got independence, they descended into dictatorships and totalitarianism.
Yeah.
But India maintained a democratic structure. It is admired in the world. Now, if that is under threat, then the whole world feels concerned. We can raise it in any platform we want. The Prime Minister himself said, look, India's achievements are the world's achievements. So that logic, Indian democratic achievements, and when it's threatened, is the world's problem as well.
I'll take that point. I'll take that point. The first point that you made about BJP or the Prime Minister or top leaders of the BJP making similar, comments when they're on foreign soil. But to the second point, Dr. Anshul Avijit, the point which is being raised is that just because the Congress party is not winning elections, or you're not getting the electoral mandate, or the court verdicts are not going in your favor, that doesn't mean the institutions are not working. They're not working in your favor. But because they're not working in your favor, it doesn't mean that democracy is under threat. Give me evidence, substantial evidence and arguments to corroborate your case that the democracy, quote unquote, is under threat if it's not a political hyperbole, but rather a substantial allegation that the opposition is making.
You need evidence. You need evidence of the Assam police coming and deplaning our own spokesperson, Pawan Khera, because he said something, criticized the Prime Minister.
And then the Supreme Court stood in your favor. That's an institution standing for you, isn't it?
Environmental activist who you think is the greatest threat to our country. You imprison 20-year-old college students under CEA for 1 year because they think there's some threat to this country. You think that the civil liberties in this country are not being, curbed. Do you think that when you criticize your COVID reaction of this government, when it's absolutely hopeless, there are raids on Dennis Bhaskar? You don't think that that is an onslaught on our democracy? You don't think that there is an onslaught on democracy when all the agencies are unleashed on only selectively opposition? You know, this is statistical facts.
Okay.
You ask for facts. Well, look at your own facts. Statistically, all the ED agencies and income tax, the holy trinity as you have it, has been unleashed on the opposition. You don't think that that is a curb on civil liberties?
Niti Jain, I'm going to now raise both the points to you. The Congress party is arguing that similar damaging allegations have been made against the opposition leaders on foreign soil by the BJP netas. And if the BJP can do it and they're not anti-nationals, why would you call the Congress party or their leaders anti-national?
I'll tell you what the difference is, Anusha. The point is when Manmohan Singh ji was called a Dehati Aurat by a Pakistani minister, it was Narendra Modi ji who had blasted the entire Pakistani government on something that was said about the Indian Prime Minister at that time. And that is the degree that you need to respect the chair in this country. What Modi ji says today is bringing in a lot of economics in this country. It is bringing in trade, it is bringing in tourism, it is bringing all of those things. So what he is doing is painting a positive picture on international soil, while whatever Rahul Gandhi is doing is not doing the same thing. I don't know how do we even compare the entire thing. It is one thing to criticize the opposition. It is one thing to put an entire country at the behest of the Western world to come and validate our democracy. I don't think you understand the difference between the two.
No, there's a nuanced point, Niti, that you're making. Dr. Anshul Avijit, the criticism that Rahul Gandhi has made is not against the BJP. He is not just even making comments against the BJP-run government in the country at the union. Rahul Gandhi made comments about the overall structure of democracy, how judiciary is working, how election commission is working. And this is not the first time such comments have been made. They go much beyond one particular political party. BJP says, yes, we made those comments, but we were only talking about certain political parties. At no point we made sweeping allegations or assertions about Indian democracy as a whole. And that's a stinging difference between you and them.
Oh, so their claims are the gospel truth?
No, they're not. I'm asking you to rebut that.
Yeah, no. Well, that's one way or the other. We'll keep going around in circles, right?
No, we're not going around in circles. We're moving forward in the argument. You're making good points. We're taking them to the BJP. Let's come to the merit. Let's come to the merit.
There is direct indictment of the government. When Mr. Gandhi says that the idea of opposition itself is under threat, the moment you start critiquing it, agencies are unleashed. When the entire social fabric is being torn, when Gaur Rakshaks have a free run, they go farar after mayhem and killings and chaos, when there's so much of social tension in the society unleashed by this government, then certainly there is something deeply, deeply wrong with the fundamentals of our democracy at the moment. The government has been in power for 8 years. We can't talk about price rise. We can't talk about unemployment. We can't talk about Pegasus. We can't talk about invasion of privacy in the parliament. Then there is something wrong when we can't raise these issues. We can't ask the Prime Minister to tell me, when was the last time you asked the Prime Minister, listen, what is the connection between you and Mr. Adani? What is it? Why do you have so much of price rise in this country? Why did you utter the words that people can be recognized by their clothes? Why is one of your ministers said Goli Maro? Did you have a chance to ever ask the Prime Minister this? And if not, and is this democracy? When the Prime Minister himself for the last 8 years has not been answerable to you. I'm asking you a question. It's not rhetorical. Did you have a chance to ask this Prime Minister of these questions? You can ask Mr. Rahul Gandhi anything you want, because he had a press conference every 10 days during the Bharat Jodo. When he was in Cambridge is a place I have been to. I know its culture. People come from all over the world and they answer questions. You can ask tough questions. The very question that you are asking me.
No, Dr. Abhijit, I take your point that the culture of criticism is something which is very essential for any democratic setup. And, in the name of nationalism or any other sentiment that we all hold very dear to in our heart, we shouldn't let go of the spirit of criticism. BJP or political opponents are repeatedly questioning the Congress party over the lines of criticism and how political discourse in this country in some way has tweaked. My second question to you before I go to Niti, when it comes to politics back here at home, all these statements made have a certain kind of a political fallout. I'm sure when Rahul Gandhi or any other Congress leader makes those kind of statements, they know that attacks are going to come from the BJP. Do you think, barring the BJP, when it comes to the electorate, Congress party has not had their best performance in the elections in this country in the last 7 to 8 years? Does it reflect that your political discourse somewhere is off the mark, Dr. Abhijit?
Yeah, these are two separate things. When you come
or I could relate. Oh, no. One second, sir. I could draw a correlation. You can very conveniently say that these are two very different things. But every statement of any political leader has a direct bearing on the posturing of the party. And in the social media space, in today's information technology and age, every statement, every word is amplified. You know that as a politician.
No, I can't quite follow your question. What I'm trying to say is, electoral outcomes, certainly, I would say time and again that this is not Congress's finest moment. But it happens in politics. This is what democracy is about. There are ups, there are downs, there are troughs, there are highs. I mean, it's a 137-year-old party. Yes, we will regroup, we will re-strategize, we will rework, we will rethink, we will try and win the trust of the electorate. That's what the democratic game is all about. But when the fundamentals of democracy, when institutions are being threatened, when the social fabric is being disrupted, these are the questions we are raising. And not for a moment do you ever make that mistake of believing that the people are voting, if they are, for the BJP because there is suffering, because there is unemployment, because there is duress, because of inflation. They are voting because of certain emotive reasons. In fact, they are overcoming their own economic suffering to vote for the BJP. Right? It's not an endorsement of any of their economic policies. What we want to talk about. Okay. If you raise emotional issues, perhaps people will vote for you. Well, winning the trust of the electorate is absolutely fine. It's a valid argument. I agree.
That's somewhere discounting the EQ and IQ of the electorate as well, Dr. Anshul Abhijit. I want to take that point to Niti as well. Niti, why be so touchy about any kind of criticism that happens on the international platform? India is a democracy which has been a shining example to the rest of the world. If Rahul Gandhi or any other opposition leader wants to go abroad and make a political statement, well, that's a statement that they have made and they will have political advantages or disadvantages of it. Why does the government need to be so worried about somebody who, according to the BJP, is a political non-entity?
It is not about being worried, Anusha. I think the point is that when my country is being put on an international podium and demeaned there, I think it hurts me as a citizen of this country. The Prime Minister and this government has worked, and it is not just me who's saying this. I think the entire international political circle is saying that India is stronger on the world stage today than it ever was. And that is the kind of image that we're trying to build. And one novice who does not have any standing in the Indian politics anymore is going there and he's just demeaning everything from minorities का भी कुछ नहीं हो सकता, economics का भी कुछ नहीं हो सकता, democracy का भी कुछ नहीं हो सकता, हमारे institutions भी बर्बाद है, यहाँ मत आओ. And this is just one person who is going there and saying all of those things. I think it's not the BJP that is worried, but as an Indian, I think it should hurt everybody that our country is being demeaned on an international stage by this person. And that remains an entire point. And also, Dr. Abhijit, when you say the social structure is being destroyed, sir, I don't think you understand the meaning of democracy. If the social structure was destroyed, I think the votes and the elections are the essential benchmark to understand if the social structure is being destroyed, because it is the people who will decide that, and not one family or one person sitting in Cambridge decide that social structure is being destroyed. If people are reposing their faith again and again in a certain government, in a certain person, in a certain party, I think you need to give them that credit that the government is doing what they need to do for the people. They're probably not doing it for the opposition, but opposition को establish करना हमारा काम नहीं है. वो आपका काम है, आप करो. नहीं हो रहा तो बाहर जाकर शिकायत मत करो. We are not being established. The judiciary is not helping us. The media is not helping us.
Well, Neeti Jain and Dr. Anshul Avijit, all I can say is that the political discourse and the lines in political discourse are being tweaked and reset. And of course, this is an ongoing debate. There cannot be a right and wrong in it. It's a matter of perception as to how BJP is saying it. And the BJP says that it's not good for the national image, and that's why they're worried. The Congress party says we will continue to assert our right of criticism. The controversy and the debate far from over. Moving on, after a CBI court remanded the Aam Aadmi Party leader Manish Sisodia to a 14-day judicial custody till the 20th of March in the alleged liquor scam case, the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister has reached the Tihar jail. He's in judicial custody now, hence at the Tihar jail. According to sources, Mr. Sisodia will be launched in jail number 1 of Tihar. He will be at least 500 meters away from his former cabinet colleague Satyendra Jain, who is in cell number 7. There is a boundary wall that separates both these jail cells. In the hearing, CBI told the court that Sisodia's supporters are politicizing the matter and that he is not supporting the investigation. The agency further added that several witnesses need to be examined, but they are terrified or Mr. Sisodia can influence the trial in an adverse manner and the witnesses may feel threatened. Saurabh Bhardwaj spoke on this issue. We also had the response coming in from the BJP. Listen in.
14 days of judicial custody for Manish Sisodia. He'll be going to Tihar now. There are no protests over here in his support today in the Aam Aadmi Party office, unlike the 2 previous occasions. How do you see this judgment?
Look, today was not a bail hearing for Manish Sisodia. It was not for the court to decide whether he will stay in jail or not. The only decision which the court had to make today was whether he will be sent to interrogation or not. And the court has agreed that he will not be sent to their interrogation. So I think it's the best case scenario for today. Yes, he has asked for a pen, diary, Bhagavad Gita, and he has asked for permission to do Vipassana because he has been practicing it, and probably he loves to write, so he will make use of this time to write few things. Judicial custody is far better than a police custody because police has nothing to interrogate now. CBI has, no ground to further interrogate him. They don't have any evidence, so obviously it will go for a judicial custody.
देखिए ये 20 मार्च तो अभी तो जांचें आगे बढ़ रही है. मुझे लगता है ये 20 मार्च 20 महीने हो सकते हैं, कई साल हो सकते हैं, और एक बार फिर से लोगों को ये विश्वास हुआ है, हमारे दिल्ली के लोगों को, कि अपराध करने वाले का जो हश्र होता है वही मनीष सिसोदिया के साथ हो रहा है.
7 दिन मनीष सिसोदिया जी की जांच के बाद आज सीबीआई ने कोर्ट से मनीष सिसोदिया जी की पूछताछ के लिए कस्टडी मांगी भी नहीं। ये क्या दिखाता है? ये दिखाता है कि जिस तरह से रेड में कुछ नहीं मिला, ऑफिस जाकर कुछ नहीं मिला, लॉकर में कुछ नहीं मिला, पैतृक गांव में कुछ नहीं मिला, तो इतना हू हल्ला करके मनीष सिसोदिया जी को सीबीआई ने जो अरेस्ट किया, उनको आज भी मनीष सिसोदिया जी के खिलाफ कोई भी सबूत नहीं मिला।
20 तारीख तक मनीष सिसोदिया को जेल भेजा। सीबीआई ने कहा कि पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड, पॉलिटिकल कलर देने की कोशिश की जा रही है इस पूरे मामले को आम आदमी पार्टी के द्वारा। हालांकि इन्होंने आम आदमी पार्टी की तरफ से कहा गया साफ तौर पर कि मनीष सिसोदिया को इलीगली अरेस्ट किया गया। क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि एक बार जो स्टेटमेंट्स सत्येंद्र जैन साहब की जब गिरफ्तारी हुई थी उस समय जो स्टेटमेंट दिए थे, एक बार उनको रेफर करना चाहिए। उस समय भी इसी तरह के स्टेटमेंट दिए गए थे, लेकिन 2-3 महीने में जब यथार्थ सामने आया तब सत्येंद्र जैन को डिसोन कर दिया गया। पिछले 6 महीने में 8 महीने में आपने कहीं उनका नाम माननीय मुख्यमंत्री केजरीवाल साहब से नहीं सुना होगा। मुझे लगता है कि जिस तरह से सत्येंद्र जैन को तिहाड़ में जाने के बाद में मुख्यमंत्री जी ने बुला दिया, थोड़े दिन बाद में अपने सहयोगी मनीष सिसोदिया जी का यथार्थ जब सामने उद्घाटित होने लगेगा तब उनको भी वो इसी तरह से भुलाने वाले हैं।
Well, let's take in a word from my colleagues as well who've been tracking the story. Nikhil and Anshul are joining us on the show. Anshul, first to you. What happened in the court today? A very brief hearing. CBI did not seek further extension. 7 days of custody so far for Mr. Manish Sisodia. Now he's in judicial custody. The bail application expected to come on the 10th, if I'm correct. If you could spell out the details of that bail application and what did the CBI say in court today, specifically about the point where they said that Mr. Sisodia, if let out on a bail, can influence the investigation and witnesses.
Well, definitely, as you rightly mentioned, the hearing was actually very, very short. But yes, a very interesting point that came out from the hearing is that for the first time, the CBI came on record and said that the Aam Aadmi Party is actually trying to give a political twist to this entire matter, and that is the reason why what we have seen over the past, that the manner in which the Aam Aadmi Party has always come out and attacked the CBI, claiming that they are working on the behest of the government, that they are trying to demean the image or demean the image of Manish Sisodia in front of the country. But yes, the manner in which the CBI's lawyer came out and said that yes, the entire procedure that the CBI has done in this entire matter, that has been done according to the court of law, that has been done whatever the court has asked for and is according to the law. Even after that, the Aam Aadmi Party is continuously trying to put out allegations on the CBI. But yes, if you see the bail application that Manish Sisodia that is going to be presented on the 10th of March itself, right, that bail application is going to be the same as the arguments that we have already heard inside the CBI court, because yes, the basic argument is going to remain the same, that yes, Manish Sisodia passes the triple test that is required for the bail, and hence there is no need for Manish Sisodia to be inside the judicial custody. But yes, we also heard what the CBI might present on that day, because the CBI very clearly came out and said that the kind of aura and the kind of stature that Manish Sisodia possesses, not only in the government but also in the politics of the national capital, if he is released out of jail, then he could actually go and influence witnesses, which could eventually lead to hampering the investigation that the CBI is doing at this point in time. So yes, it remains to be seen in what favor will the CBI judge finally decide the matter when the matter comes up on the 10th of March. Till then, this can actually be seen as a massive setback, not only for the Aam Aadmi Party but also for Manish Sisodia, as he is going to stay inside the Tihar jail for the next 14 days.
It was interesting that the Aam Aadmi Party said today that CBI has not demanded any further custody, and it goes on to show that they don't have anything further against Mr. Manish Sisodia. One wonders how legally plausible that argument is. I want to cut across to Nikhil as well. Nikhil, talking about the politics of this entire issue, from the day the investigation started to the day Mr. Sisodia was arrested, and each time he's been presented before the court, there's a very fierce narrative coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party that all of this is a political vendetta. The agencies have been unleashed and there is nothing substantial on record against Mr. Sisodia, something that the CBI vehemently has opposed in the court. You also have the BJP demanding that Mr. Sisodia and his alleged corruption is directly linked to the Chief Minister's office and CM must be held accountable. The politics around this investigation and the ongoing trial right now.
Well, if you go by the facts, it started in the very first place from the LOP, that is from the Bharatiya Janata Party side, when Ramveer Singh Bidhudi raised this alleged liquor scam case in the very first place last year. That time we had seen that how the politics started, and this is something which is being alleged time and again by the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party, including that of Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, that political vendetta is something which is taking place. And Aam Aadmi Party has clearly said this on record as well, that post 2014, after the inception of the Bharatiya Janata Party, more than 3,000 times the raids have taken place on the opposition party leaders, and the conviction rate is not even 1%. So this is the reflection of the same which is now seen on the side of Manish Sisodia as well, who is no longer minister, in the Delhi cabinet. It is not just a political setback for the Aam Aadmi Party, as was being mentioned by senior correspondent Anshul Singh as well, but also a personal loss to Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, because many in the party know that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is unable to put faith in any of the leaders. It takes a longer time than usual for him to pose faith on any of the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. And the administrative face of the Aam Aadmi Party was Manish Sisodia, and the political face of the Aam Aadmi Party was in the name and in the face of Arvind Kejriwal. So this is the reason why time and again Aam Aadmi Party have come out in the public domain saying that see, political vendetta is something which is happening for past few years. And today as well, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, during an event, he has said, when the raids were underway at, in fact, the CBI was present at Rabri Devi residence as well, he has been saying that the central government, in particularly the Bharatiya Janata Party, they are trying to obstruct in the work of the opposition ruled state. So this is something that we are seeing in the national capital as well. But for the very first time, we are seeing, because the budget session of the national capital, it is very much important. It is going to start from 17th of this month. And for the very first time, Manish Sisodia will not be present during that particular ceremony. So
absolutely, and you rightly point out, Nikhil, that Mr. Sisodia was the administrative face, and it's a huge void for the Aam Aadmi Party to fill, and more importantly, a face saver. Those resignations and the manner in which they came. But yes, the political lines are clearly drawn, and that confrontation continues between the AAP and the BJP. We'll continue tracking that story and much more here on CNN News 18 on the other side of a quick break. Stay tuned.
It's shameful, but it's true.
Our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining live on this story. Pallavi, so now Rahul Gandhi has sought intervention from the US and Britain to intervene to restore Indian democracy. Can you tell us more about this?
So this was at a press conference which he did around a few days back, in I think day before on Saturday, where he made the point that he was actually also talking in the context of the BBC documentary, and he said that if the BBC had remained silent, then perhaps this kind of an investigation would not have taken place at their offices in Delhi and Mumbai. And that also explains why big countries in Europe and America are largely silent over what's happening in India, because there's money concerned, there are trade ties, and their trade and monetary benefits which accrues to these countries, which is why they prefer to remain silent. Of course, as expected, the BJP is, of course, taking a huge objection to it. And it's a borderline comment on the foreign policy of India. We'll have to wait to see that when the parliament session begins on 13th of March, whether the BJP is actually going to make this a big issue and whether they're going to try and move a notice against Rahul Gandhi. Because when it comes to foreign policy issues, it's also a very nuanced and careful line which one has to take.
By the way, also Rahul also made a big claim that Jai Shankar, External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar, does not understand the threat by the Chinese at the LAC.
What Jai Shankar had said at a press conference and during an interaction was that we also have to keep in mind that China has huge amount of money, nuclear material at their disposal. So India's retaliation has to be more nuanced and very, very careful. That is now being used by the BJP and by the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi to make the point that you're basically, the grain of India's foreign policy is based on cowardice. Cowards talk like that. You're scared of people who are more powerful than you. And this is a kind of a bizarre response coming in from the foreign minister to the Chinese, and on what action should be taken against China, according to the Congress party.
Also, Pallavi, we've seen how BJP has been constantly slamming Rahul Gandhi for defaming India on the foreign soil. But in defense, Rahul Gandhi has claimed that it was BJP, in fact, it was the Prime Minister who first insulted India abroad during his foreign visits. Prime Minister Modi had said that there has been no development in India in the past 60 to 70 years.
Yes, this was a question which was asked of him at the press conference that, you are often accused by the BJP of bashing the country when you're abroad. So he said that, when the Prime Minister goes abroad and he says that no work has happened in the last 70 years and people are ashamed to be a part of India at that point of time, then who is saying it on a foreign soil? So this kind of a confrontation, to meme, will carry on between the BJP and the Congress. As of now, the BJP, of course, we know is in power at the center. Nationalism has always been a wicket on which the BJP has attacked the Congress party. So the entire comments of Rahul Gandhi are going to be whipped up as being anti-national, downgrading the dignity of your country abroad, when many countries abroad are actually acknowledging India's rise as one of the important players on the global stage.
Absolutely, Pallavi. Now, the BJP is also claiming that Rahul Gandhi is seeking foreign intervention in India's democracy, that too in the 75th year of independence when India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and that too on the British soil.
Yes. And this has been a kind of, according to BJP, Rahul Gandhi actually has been a habitual offender. I mean, if you just step back to 2008, 9, and even much later, 11 onwards, where he actually compared in one instance in Germany to the BJP and RSS to Muslim Brotherhood, there was a huge uproar even then because the BJP says you are comparing ourselves to a terrorist organization and we are very much in power at the center. So what you're also doing is you're insulting the Indians and the voters who have voted for us. Whenever he's gone abroad, he's made the point that how democracy has been compromised in a country. We are made to look like an autocratic country, according to the BJP. Rahul Gandhi's comments that, Parliament does not allow us to speak, mics are switched off. It's all very well when you make that point over here back home in India, according to the BJP. But when you go abroad, as a politician, you're also representing your country. So why are you making a comment which is going to embolden our opponents across the border, for example, Pakistan?
All right, Pallavi, we have BJP's Anila Singh joining us on this story. So Rahul Gandhi has sought intervention from the US and Britain to restore Indian democracy. What's your take on this?
My Ram Ram to everyone, and I'm not at all surprised. This is one political party, and especially if I talk this particular family, they have always taken shelter, support of bodies or powers across our borders. So the formation of this political party was with the help of the Britishers. So every time when they are not able to handle themselves anything, they try to take support from the international power forces. We saw and we are seeing the international toolkits working against Narendra Modi ji. Now this person who did Bharat Jodo Yatra, but he is standing on foreign land and he is expressing as if India is broken in many pieces and it is all because of the present government. So what you are doing, are people electing you in parliament or in the assembly? So you are failed as a leader. Your political party is failed as a main opposition force in our country, and your failures are not going to be defined on the foreign land as the failure of present government. So Narendra Modi ji is a one prime minister, a leader who is so popular not only in our country but across our borders as well. Perhaps that is why this person is so rattled. He is not checking facts on himself and his political party.
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has once again targeted the central government while addressing the Indian diaspora in London. The Congress MP said that it is very strange that an Indian political leader can give lectures at Cambridge and Harvard, but not in an Indian university. He further attacked the Narendra Modi-led government of not allowing any concept of opposition in the country, adding that the leaders are not even allowed to speak in the parliament. Rahul Gandhi has also sought foreign intervention to restore democracy in India. Now, the BJP has hit back at Rahul Gandhi, saying that Rahul has crossed every limit to defame India in Britain.
How would you react if something a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic. But there's no reaction.
Welcome back, and this is some news coming in from Pakistan. There's trouble for the former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan as the troubles continue to mount for him. Islamabad District and Session Court has now upheld the lower court's observations against a non-bailable arrest warrant against Khan in the Tosha Khana case. Previously, the court had expressed apprehensions over missing documents in the Khan's bail plea. In the arrest warrant, Mr. Imran Khan has been ordered to be present in court on the 7th of March for the next date of hearing after he was taken into custody. Along similar lines, Pakistan's electronic media watchdog has banned Khan's live and recorded speeches from being aired in the country. Now, this body's decision comes after the ousted Prime Minister delivered a hard-hitting speech against the state institution and slammed the state leaders, Sharif and Zardari, for looting the country. The word coming in from Imran Khan.
हम सिर्फ एक अल्लाह के सामने झुकते हैं, ना मैं किसी इंसान, ना किसी इदारे, किसी के सामने मैं ना जिंदगी में झुका हूं और इंशाल्लाह आपको भी कभी झुकने नहीं दूंगा। ये याद रखें कि जिधर पाकिस्तान को ये चोर और डाकू जिधर ये ले गए हैं, इसका सिर्फ एक कौम मुकाबला कर सकती है। इस वक्त का एक हजूम नहीं मुकाबला कर सकता। आज हमारे मुल्क का, आज हमारा मुल्क ये नीचे क्यों दुनिया के सामने जलील हो रहा है? वो क्राइम मिनिस्टर जाके पैसे मांगता फिर रहा है और लोग ठुकरा रहे हैं उसको। कोई पाकिस्तान का, आपके हिंदुस्तान की चैनल देखें तो जो पाकिस्तान को जलील किया जा रहा है।
And the latest updates coming in amid Imran Khan's arrest drama. Sources close to PTI are telling us that ISI is threatening EC of Pakistan. PTI claims that ECP members have received a call from an unknown number and threatened them with death. Sources close to the party have said that the Chief Election Commissioner, Sikandar Sultan Raja, also received the call, and he responded that he would do as the Supreme Court of Pakistan instructs him to do. The EC has claimed that an ISI official has said that even if the spy agency fails to kill Imran Khan, they would kill someone else so that it could lead to chaos and won't let the elections take place. The revelations come days after ECP announced the date for Punjab province elections, which will go to polls on the 30th of April. Siddhant with us on the broadcast. Siddhant, give us more perspective about these developments.
Well, look, there is a lot happening in Pakistan, and in fact, what the Chief Election Commissioner in Pakistan is saying is sensational, but again, nothing new in that. Because we all know that how deep state ISI controls the democracy in Pakistan, the government functioning in Pakistan. And in fact, yesterday, while addressing media, Imran Khan went on record and said that how Chief of Army Staff, former Chief of Army Staff, General Bajwa, has protected Shehbaz Sharif, and in fact had also delayed the trial in the corruption cases against him. So this is nothing new that deep state, army, ISI, they all control the system. Now this sensational allegation has come from Chief Election Commissioner Raja Sikandar in Pakistan, and what Manoj Gupta is telling us right now, that he has received a phone call. His office has in fact received a phone call saying that if he will not do his work properly, then they will bring some new person as Chief Election Commissioner. Basically, the target is Imran Khan. Basically, this call has been made because recently elections have been announced in the Punjab province, and it appears that ISI is not happy with this step of Election Commission, and this is the reason that they are now in fact openly threatening the Chief Election Commissioner in Pakistan. So the Election Commissioner has to say, A, he has made this entire conversation public, and B, he has said that he will do whatever Supreme Court will ask him to to do. So you know, it's a very bad state of affairs in Pakistan. Economy is not doing well. A leader of opposition is going to get arrested anytime now. The Prime Minister is going and begging money from other countries. ISI and army is not ready to accept democracy and government functioning in the country. So it's a very bad state. Now open threat calls are being made by ISI and that too to a chief election commissioner in the country. Back to you.
My colleague Siddhant getting us all those details. There's some more latest news coming in. Let's cut across to that. The Pak economic crisis continues. It continues to mount. That's a bit of news we are getting right now. Former Senate chairperson and senior PPP leader Senator Raza Rabbani has said that the people of Pakistan have a right to know if the country's nuclear assets are under any kind of pressure. The senator has further added that the country also needs to know if the strategic relationship with China is under threat or we are being called up to play a role in the region which will facilitate the military presence of an imperialist power. The senator went on to say that these and other questions require a policy statement by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on the floor of a house or in a joint sitting of the parliament. Siddhant, we were talking about the economic worries of Pakistan, and the fact that there is internal pressure building up on the present government is no wonder.
Well, look, you know, this entire economic worry is big as well as it is very complex. Now, this senator and she used to be the former chief of senators in Pakistan. Now, she has raised very valid concerns as far as the state of affairs are going on in Pakistan. Now, she has to say that who will give assurance as far as nuclear assets in Pakistan are concerned. She also raises question on the status of staff level agreement with IMF, because look, on one end, Shehbaz Sharif is also securing, also asking China to refinance the loans. And on the other end, they are also looking up to Saudi Arabia so that Saudi Arabia give them some kind of an economic assurance and they are able to crack a deal with IMF. So it's a very complex situation for Pakistan. Now, this senator wants Shehbaz Sharif's government to be transparent, to be open about what is happening as far as nuclear assets are concerned, as far as the functioning of deep state is concerned, and also what is happening on the economic front. So this senator is want transparency, and because a lot of senators are unhappy with the way government is functioning, and because they believe that government is hiding a lot of things. They are hiding a lot of things.
That's the word coming in, and there's the senior most senator who has raised a very serious question. He has asked that if the nuclear assets are secured, and more importantly, if there is any quote-unquote imperialist power which may hijack the nation, clearly raising concerns over China's role in Pakistan. Let's move on and shift our focus back here in India and what's happening in the state of Tamil Nadu. A full-blown crisis has erupted for the state of Tamil Nadu after videos purportedly showing Hindi-speaking migrants being assaulted in the state went viral over last week. Now, K. Annamalai has made a huge claim saying that DMK has always been against North Indians. He further added that DMK should not use North-South divide. Tamil Nadu BJP chief also hit out at the Stalin government, saying that he has been booked for speaking the truth and he is not scared of FIRs. LJP MP Chirag Paswan also met the Tamil Nadu governor and submitted a memorandum on the fake videos and attacks. Yesterday, Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi appealed to the workers to not panic as fears of a potential exodus of the workers haunted the state.
Sir, after I joined the political party, our Bharatiya Janata Party, in the last 20 odd months, this is my 87th FIR in Tamil Nadu. Normally, this 86 FIR still now are of various sections for violating something. This is the first time they have booked some serious offences. That too for a statement I have released condemning the DMK government for fueling hatred in Tamil Nadu for the last 70 years. And I have given a very point-by-point rebuttal of what DMK person has spoken at which point of time. Some senior DMK ministers have called our North Indian friends as Pani Puri Wala. They are fit to work only in roadside. They can only come and wash utensils here. And more importantly, they have said, illiterate people, Gomutra gang. This is the kind of language used by DMK leaders MPs, ministers over the last 1 year in Tamil Nadu. In fact, the current Chief Minister, Sri M.K. Stalin, when he was the opposition leader, he has mentioned a lot of North Indians coming inside Tamil Nadu, and thereby they'll become BJP voters. They should be stopped. So I've issued a statement based on which the police have said, no, you have issued very false statements, trying to create fear. We are going to book a case. So booking case is nothing new against us. Only thing is, at least this phase has shown the whole of India what DMK party is all about. Why this kind of situation started happening in Tamil Nadu in the first place. Tamil Nadu is a safe place. We welcome everybody. We don't discriminate anybody. And the great Kaniyan Pugundranar Yadu Mure Yaduran Keli, we believe the world is one. But DMK doesn't believe in that. DMK was fueling hate mongering, fear mongering, all those things over the last many years, especially in the last 10 years when they were in the opposition. But booking a case against me, I believe, is the biggest joke. What DMK can do after they have come to power, sir.
And some latest updates coming in on the story. Bihar ADG says that one person named Aman has been arrested by the EOU for posting misleading and fake videos on the migrants issue. That's the word coming in. We'll take all these developments to our guests as well who are joining us on the broadcast. We have YG Madhuvanti, who's a political analyst. TKS Alangovan, the DMK spokesperson, is also joining us on the broadcast. This entire controversy, one person being arrested. There's a statement coming in from the Bihar ADG, the top officer. What does this entire crisis really tell us about the DMK government and, more importantly, the kind of fears that the migrant community right now is facing in the state of Tamil Nadu? Mr. Elangovan, I'm coming to you. The Chief Minister has assured of safety and security, but the opposition party, especially the BJP, says this has been your persistent political policy. The North-South divide is used by the DMK for their own political advantage. And whenever an incident of this nature really happens, they try to back away. They try to say, look, we have done everything. But this is the core of your politics in the state of Tamil Nadu, and it endangers people coming in from the northern states.
No, he has even quoted me in that his tweet. What I said was different, and he quoted me in a wrong way. See, in Tamil Nadu, people are safe. They are coming here, they are given employment, they are working. Maybe sometimes there was a clash among themselves. The Biharis, when they came, there was a clash. I saw a report that two Biharis were fighting with each other, not with the people of Tamil Nadu. There are many people, for more than 50, 60 years, I know people from Nepal coming here and working as Gurkhas in the state. They are all safe. In fact, they protect us. In the nights, they go around and they are all safe. They are safe only because of that they are coming to Tamil Nadu. They are choosing Tamil Nadu only because that they can be safe and they can get an employment. What he says is different. North-South divide, we only wanted Hindi not to be imposed on us. That doesn't mean that we are against the people of North who speak Hindi.
But Mr. Alangovan, then how do we understand statements like Pani Puri Wala or, making other kinds of derogatory remarks against people coming in from the Hindi-speaking belt, or saying that these people are here only to do menial jobs? There are various DMK leaders who in the past have made statements like these. You're well aware, sir.
I'll tell you. You can read from his tweet. He had talked about my speech also. I have told about Hindi, not about the people speaking Hindi, not about Hindi-speaking people. What they said was, you learn Hindi. Sisodia, what is the use of learning Hindi? What are we going to do Hindi? Even our minister had stated that by learning Hindi, what will be achieved?
No, sir, I don't want to go into the Hindi versus the Tamil debate.
Hindi is about language, not about the people.
No, you're right. You're right that Hindi is about language, not about the people. You're right. But what happens is, when you play with fire and when you play with issues like these, inevitably, if you target Hindi as a language, then people speaking Hindi or who have Hindi as their mother tongue, and they come to the state of Tamil Nadu for some kind of employment or looking for their bread and butter, they sometimes become a victim of this kind of politics, sir.
No, they are all happy here. That is why they are choosing Tamil Nadu. When they come to Tamil Nadu, they are safe, they earn something. When they are in their own state, they don't have employment. They seek employment, come here, live happily. You can ask anybody.
Madhuvanti ji, I'm coming to you and taking in a word from you. The DMK goes on to say, and you just heard the gentleman saying, that look, these are issues which are being created. We have nothing against people coming in from the north. The Chief Minister has also assured all kind of safety and security, and the migrants have come to the state for decades now. It's not a new phenomena. They have remained safe, and this is only raking up rumour mongering. This is only creating rumour mongering against the elected government of the day. Madhuvanti ji.
Namaste. And namaste to my co-panelist Ilangovan sir also. All I want to ask is all the videos that were put out by the BJP state president Shri Annamalai, is he trying to tell us that those are all graphically completely morphed videos and that none of them are actually videos of the MPs and MLAs of DMK who actually spoke about the North Indians as road workers and who can only sell pani puri? I don't know where Hindi as a language came into the picture when you're talking about somebody selling pani puri.
Yeah.
It was very clear. And all those videos are in Tamil. The people of Tamil Nadu understand Tamil. And the people in the migrant workers of Tamil Nadu also understand Tamil. And for the past 1 year, this kind of bickering against North Indians and trying to even put out videos that clearly say that when these North Indians come to Tamil Nadu, they take away our jobs. This was an official video of the DMK. Are they trying to say that that was also graphically morphed? That all this is somebody else and not members of the DMK? And the t-shirts that they wore against Hindi and Hindi-speaking population, all this is graphics now. The fantastic graphics then in the DMK IT wing, I'd like to know. So I don't know what they are talking about, and I do not understand from where this has suddenly become.
There are multiple videos on record. There are multiple leaders of the DMK on record.
Exactly. Are they all graphically morphed?
And she has a pertinent question to ask, that are you denying all of those statements which are already there in the public domain?
All those statements, if you go through them, it is an attack on Amit Shah, who said one language, Hindi should be the national language and everybody should learn Hindi.
I mean,
it is about the language and not the people.
I cannot debate with
such
ignorance.
Even I spoke against the language.
I truly can't debate with such ignorance, because if you're going to say that you had something against Mr. Amit Shah, you could have spoken directly against Amit Shah. Why speak about North Indian people at large?
Even in
those videos are there on record.
You please listen to me 1 minute. Even in 1964, when there was a heavy anti-Hindi agitation in Tamil Nadu, the North Indians were not attacked. They were all safe here. It is about the language forced on us. It is about
language being forced on a particular state. I think the Union government has also clarified abundantly that at no point any language is going to be forced upon any state or any political party or any part of the country. So that debate is aside. That's a policy question. People leave their home state and go to another state in search of better job and better life. And that has been the story and tragedy of millions of Biharis who leave their home and from various other parts of the country as well and go to far more richer states across the country. They must be provided safety and security and a safe environment to really thrive into. We'll continue talking about the story and much more here on CNN News 18, flipping into a workshop.
Back in, I think, day before on Saturday, where he made the point that he was actually also talking in the context of the BBC documentary. And he said that if the BBC had remained silent, then perhaps this kind of an investigation would not have taken place at their offices in Delhi and Mumbai. And that also explains why big countries in Europe and America are largely silent over what's happening in India, because there's money concerned, there are trade ties, and their trade and monetary benefits which accrues to these countries, which is why they prefer to remain silent. Of course, as expected, the BJP is, of course, taking a huge objection to it. And it's a borderline comment on the foreign policy of India. We'll have to wait to see that when the parliament session begins on 13th of March, whether the BJP is actually going to make this a big issue and whether they're going to try and move a notice against Rahul Gandhi. Because when it comes to foreign policy issues, it's also a very nuanced and careful line which one has to take.
By the way, also Rahul also made a big claim that Jai Shankar, External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar, does not understand the threat by the Chinese at the LAC.
What Jai Shankar had said at a press conference and during an interaction was that we also have to keep in mind that China has huge amount of money, nuclear material at their disposal. So India's retaliation has to be more nuanced and very, very careful. That is now being used by the BJP and by you, which are the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi, to make the point that you're basically the grain of India's foreign policy is based on cowardice. Cowards talk like that. You're scared of people who are more powerful than you. And this is a kind of a bizarre response coming in from the foreign minister to the Chinese, and on what action should be taken against China, according to the Congress party.
Also, Pallavi, we've seen how BJP has been constantly slamming Rahul Gandhi for defaming India on the foreign soil. But in defense, Rahul Gandhi has claimed that it was BJP, in fact, it was the Prime Minister who first insulted India abroad during his foreign visits. Prime Minister Modi had said that there has been no development in India in the past 60 to 70 years.
Yes, this was a question which was asked of him at the press conference, that, you are often accused by the BJP of bashing the country when you're abroad. So he said that, when the Prime Minister goes abroad and he says that no work has happened in the last 70 years and people are ashamed to be a part of India at that point of time, then who is saying it on a foreign soil? So this kind of a confrontation to meme will carry on between the BJP and the Congress. As of now, the BJP, of course, we know is in power at the center. Nationalism has always been a wicket on which the BJP has attacked the Congress party. So the entire comments of Rahul Gandhi are going to be whipped up as being anti-national, downgrading the dignity of your country abroad, when many countries abroad are actually acknowledging India's rise as one of the important players on the global stage.
Absolutely, Pallavi. Now, the BJP is also claiming that Rahul Gandhi is seeking foreign intervention in India's democracy, that too in the 75th year of independence, when India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and that too on the British soil.
Yes. This has been a kind of, according to BJP, Rahul Gandhi actually has been a habitual offender. I mean, if you just step back to 2008, 9, and even much later, 11 onwards, where he actually compared in one instance in Germany to the BJP and RSS to Muslim Brotherhood, there was a huge uproar even then, because the BJP says you are comparing ourselves to a terrorist organization and we are very much in power at the center. So what you're also doing is you're insulting the Indians and the voters who have voted for us. Whenever he's gone abroad, he's made the point that how democracy has been compromised in a country. We are made to look like an autocratic country, according to the BJP. Rahul Gandhi's comments that, Parliament does not allow us to speak, mics are switched off. It's all very well when you make that point over here back home in India, according to the BJP. But when you go abroad, as a politician, you're also representing your country. So why are you making a comment which is going to embolden our opponents across the border, for example, Pakistan?
All right, Pallavi, we have BJP's Anila Singh joining us on this story. So Rahul Gandhi has sought intervention from the US and Britain to restore Indian democracy. What's your take on this?
My Ram Ram to everyone, and I'm not at all surprised. This is one political party, and especially if I talk this particular family, they have always taken shelter, support of bodies or powers across our borders. So the formation of this political party was with the help of the Britishers. So every time when they are not able to handle themselves anything, they try to take support from the international power forces. We saw and we are seeing the international toolkits working against Narendra Modi ji. Now this person who did Bharat Jodo Yatra, but he is standing on foreign land and he is expressing as if India is broken in many pieces, and it is all because of the present government. So what you are doing, are people electing you in parliament or in the assembly? So you are failed as a leader. Your political party is failed as a main opposition force in our country, and your failures are not going to be defined on the foreign land as the failure of present government. So Narendra Modi ji is a one prime minister, a leader who is so popular not only in our country but across our borders as well. Perhaps that is why this person is so rattled. He is not checking facts on himself and his political party.
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has once again targeted the central government while addressing the Indian diaspora in London. The Congress MP said that it is very strange that an Indian political leader can give lectures at Cambridge and Harvard, but not in an Indian university. He further attacked the Narendra Modi-led government of not allowing any concept of opposition in the country adding that the leaders are not even allowed to speak in the parliament. Rahul Gandhi has also sought foreign intervention to restore democracy in India. Now, the BJP has hit back at Rahul Gandhi, saying that Rahul has crossed every limit to defame India in Britain.
How would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times your suddenly went non-democratic? But there's no reaction. And if we're talking about Europe, that's the thing that shocks me. And of course, there are.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Another day, another row over Rahul Gandhi's statements during his London trip. A few days after his lecture at Cambridge University created a row at an interaction with Indian Journalists Association in London on Saturday, the Congress MP from Wayanad made certain statements that haven't gone down well back home in India. Apart from lashing out at the current BJP government at the centre, Rahul said that this is no longer just a danger, but India is already not a democracy. He criticized government's handling of Chinese aggression while also claiming that while he's spoken to the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar only once, the latter has no understanding of the Chinese threat. As Rahul takes the message and learning of his Bharat Jodo Yatra around the world, he continues to raise the deaths of all institutions in the country that are effectively making it impossible to have free and fair elections in India. But possibly most damning of his statements was lamenting that defenders of democracy quote like US and EU are not doing anything despite such a big bloc like India slipping out of democracy. Not surprisingly, BJP didn't like it. Union Minister Anurag Thakur hit back at Rahul Gandhi, saying that to hide his own failures, Rahul is defaming India overseas. Is it the Congress party's contention now that there is no democracy in India anymore? So if they were to win, for example, a couple of upcoming state elections, would those wins not amount to anything? Or is democracy functioning only when it works for one side? Or is it Rahul's contention that actually what the public votes for is irrelevant? Ultimately, what matters is who has the institutions in their hands. And finally, is the Congress party now openly asking for other governments to intervene in India? If so, how? Should the US invade us like they invaded Iraq or Afghanistan or Vietnam at one time? Or should the European Union effect some sort of regime change in India? What is the Congress party really asking for? We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit. A closer look first up of another of Rahul Gandhi's rants in the UK. So attack number one, democracy is under attack in India. He actually claimed that there is no democracy left anymore. There is no concept of opposition in India, he claimed. Number two, China is sitting inside our territory, that is Indian territory. The External Affairs Minister doesn't understand the threat from China. Attack number three, minorities are attacked in India. This is something he has said earlier. All institutions have been captured by the BJP. Number four, Modi government is controlling the media. Those who question the government are attacked. Another attack that he has repeated in the past as well. And finally, possibly the most damning, defenders of democracy are oblivious. US and Europe are not trying to restore democracy in India. The BJP also hit back. Their counter number one was that Rahul is painting a wrong picture of India. They went on to say that Rahul is defaming India to hide his own failure. Number three, Rahul is seeking foreign intervention on internal issues. Further on, Rahul is dissuading investors from coming to India.